Hello, hello. This will be a little video series with my thoughts on speedrunning Dr. Mario. If you're eager to see some gameplay, there's a playlist link in the description below that you can use to jump to the different levels. This video is just going to be a little bit of an introduction and a description of what the series is about and what it isn't. And I will discuss some of my pre-game thoughts about how to choose a level and speed. Okay, so here's what the video series is going to be. I'm going to play a level in my emulator and record my inputs. And then I'm going to replay that for you guys twice. The first time with lots of pauses to discuss what's going through my head at each moment. And the second time in real time with some cryptic comments that are supposed to be reminders of the chat that we had earlier. We'll do every 5 levels, which I think will give us a chance to cover the different character of thoughts that happens early, middle, and late game. So that's what the series is. Here's what it's not. It is not the advice of an expert. My personal best is somewhere in the 46 to 47 minute range, which is about 50% slower than the current world record of 31 minutes and 51 seconds. Those of you who are experts may occasionally cringe at the things that I say, or think of things that I haven't talked about but should. And when that happens, you should leave me a comment so that I can improve the way that I'm thinking and get faster. It's also not intended to be a comprehensive strategy guide, just the things that happen to come up during a particular run. I think that's going to be a good way to make sure that we talk about the stuff that happens most often without getting lost in the weeds of esoteric things. And finally, it's not intended to be a 2-player strategy guide. The 2-player mode adds the ability to send garbage to your opponent by making combos. And I think that changes the strategy quite a bit, both because delaying them a lot is very strategic, and because it means you have to be able to make plans that are robust to the opponent dropping garbage on you. And I don't really want to talk about those things in this series. Perhaps a later series if there's interest. Okay, so that's what this series is and what it isn't. Let's talk a little bit about the screen you're currently looking at. For the virus level, most people just start at level 0 and progress through level 20. I do that too when I'm practicing, although sometimes when I am trying to get a fast run, rather than practice at getting fast, I'll start at level 18. What I like about going 18, 19, 20 and then resetting back and doing 0 to 17 is that I find the later levels are the most variable in terms of how long they take me. And so if I do them first, that means I can kill a run earlier if it looks like it's not going to be a good run. For speed, you should be choosing between medium and high. The problem with the low speed is that there's an animation on every pill in which Dr. Mario sort of tosses it into the top of the bottle. And that animation takes 21 frames longer at low speed than at medium or high. It doesn't sound like much, but over the course of an entire game, that's probably somewhere between 1.5 to 2.5 minutes time lost. So you can get an extra 5% just by picking medium or high speed. For the choice between medium and high, I think the trade-off is basically between how much maneuvering time you have versus how long you spend waiting to do a maneuver. I don't think it's very much about thinking time. If you want to be fast, you should be making your decisions basically instantly and implementing them straight away. So the extra thinking time that medium gives you over high isn't a valuable thing. Okay, so what do I mean by the trade-off between maneuvering time and time spent waiting? In most situations, what you want to do is move your pill to a specific column and then drop it all the way down. In that situation, there's basically no difference between medium and high speeds. But often it is strategic to drop a pill partway down the screen, and then do some maneuvers like move it left and right or do a quick rotation, and then let it drop the rest of the way. At high speed, I find that I can only move the pill 2 columns for each row that it drops when I'm not holding down. And that occasionally prevents some strategic choices. An especially common one is that in later levels, I can't get the pill to the top left or top right corner because that's 3 columns to the left, which means that the leftmost and rightmost viruses either have to be cleared horizontally or from below. So, on the other hand, at medium speed, you have to wait a little bit longer for the pill to get in position. So what do I mean by that? Well, you want to press and hold down until the pill is in the right position to do your maneuver. And ideally, you let go at exactly the right row. But that's a pretty tight thing to get right. You only have 2 frames to let go of the down button, and you're going to be doing it a lot of times per game. So you want to do it in a way that's not super risky. So you want to err on the side of letting go of down too early rather than too late. Which means you're going to be waiting for a few rows of drop at the natural drop speed. And at medium speed, that's a bit longer wait than at high speed. I think either one is probably viable for speedrunning. You should pick one and get used to it. I'll be using high speed in these demos. For music type, chill is the only choice. Everything else is much slower. Okay, see you in level 0.